This is Audible.
This is How to Ruin the Holidays, written by Becky Monson, narrated by Holly Warren, produced by Blake Long. To my Auntie Franny, Christmas time was always so fun with you. I'll miss all the laughter and the inside jokes, until I can hug you again. Chapter 1. I like to rage crochet. I've made some beautiful pieces in my anger, like the scarf I'm currently wearing. It's got perfectly chained rows of a delicious hunter green yarn, and it's full of my hate. I'd originally started it for my on-again, off-again boyfriend, Stephen. It was supposed to be a Christmas gift, one from my heart. Instead, I broke things off with him for the last time, finished the thing in one night. It was more than halfway done, but I'm also fast when I'm angry. And now wear it as a reminder that heathen Stephen is a big fat cheating jerk. The reason I bring this up is because I could totally use some therapy crocheting right now. This time for dear old Dad. The stitches would be tight and in lime green and rust orange, his two least favorite colors. If only I'd brought my supplies with me. I don't know why you're fighting me on this. The ostrich room would suit her best, says Hattie, an older woman with light pink hair. She and her sister, Irene, both widows, so I was told, own the bed and breakfast where I'm currently trying to get a room. Trying and failing. But the flamingo one has more va-va-voom, says Irene. I wave my hand around, trying to get their attention. Maybe we could flip a coin? I say, hoping we can work this out quickly. They ignore me. In fact, except for our initial conversation, I haven't been able to get a word in. Do they do this with all their guests? Or am I just the lucky recipient today? They're both wearing sweaters that they probably got on a BOGO deal. Hattie, with the pink hair. Her sweater is blue with snowflakes and a Rudolph on the front. Irene's got on a red sweater with a snowman. He's wearing a top hat and green scarf and has a carrot nose with eyes and a smile made of coal. His stick arm is sporting a gloved hand that makes it look as if he's waving at me and saying, "Welcome to hell." Hell indeed. After a flight with heavy turbulence, so terrible that I was compelled to send a text to my best friend, Cammie, telling her that if I died, she'd need to delete all the books on my Kindle, and a landing that made not one, but several people scream, including me. I arrived at the airport only to find that the SUV I'd rented had been mistakenly given to someone else. All they had left was something that looked like a blue wind-up toy, which then turned a 2-hour drive into more than 3, while I prayed to whatever deity would listen, as I nearly lost control on some black ice, not once, but twice. All to bring me here, to the small town of Carroll Cove, a place that looks like Christmas barfed all over it, to buy some land for my dad to prove to him that I'm ready to run an office of my own. Maybe if I'd had the chance to do some research, I wouldn't have been so blindsided. But it all happened so fast. I'm supposed to be anti-Christmas this year, after a disaster of a Thanksgiving. I'm supposed to be planning a non-festive trip to the Virgin Islands with Cammie right now. But nope. My dad sent me to this little town in Montana that looks like it's straight out of one of those campy holiday movies. And to add to that vibe, I've got a quirky pair of sisters fighting over which room I should have. I've never been a big fan of those seasonal movies, but I've seen enough of them to know that this one would be about inn owners who don't get along and need a little holiday spirit to bring them together. And the title would be A Real Crap Christmas for Mara. The sisterly arguing is sort of my fault, though. If I had just told them why I was really here, if I had just been honest. But I was told that this town isn't keen on selling the land that my dad wants.